Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at Deluxe Class Cog from Transformers Siege War for Cybertron Trilogy. If you're familiar with Cog, he is the kind of small helper assistant robot to Fortress Maximus, very similar to Scamper or Six Gun for Metroplex. So if you do have the giant Fortress Maximus from Titan's Return, would be a very nice companion piece. The two would go together, which is very cool. He looks great. You can see you have some really nice artwork here on the side of the packaging. Nice artwork as always on this side. It's always the same picture, but still very cool. Not too much going on the bottom or the top, but switching it around to the back. If you can see this down here, it says that he is a weaponizer, which basically means that he comes apart into several different accessories for the other Deluxe class robots, which is really neat play pattern. I think that's really cool. Does also have a vehicle mode, which of course we'll take a look at, and of course we'll take a look at the armor modes you can see here. So I just think this is such a neat line because we have Micromasters, we have Battle Masters, we have Weaponizers. It's just nuts. There's a ton of cool stuff going on, and I really like it. So let's go ahead, let's get Cog out of the packaging here, and we'll take a closer look. So here's Cog out of the packaging, and I have to say, I really like his design. Definitely looks like a bruiser. He's armed to the teeth. He's ready for a fight. I like that quite a bit. Definitely getting the Fortress Maximus feels because of the color scheme. So that's really, really cool as well. Taking a look at the head sculpt. Fairly simplistic, just kind of a visor with a faceplate, but I dig it. Nice silver paint on the visor there. Nice silver paint all here in the torso area. Autobot symbol painted on there as well. Nice red paint here for the arms/guns. Head can move from side to side. Arms can move. You have movement here in the shoulder, but if you have the arms straight up like this, that kind of gets in the way. But you can kind of rotate these down so that it doesn't get in the way so much, which is nice. They don't go like all the way around or anything like that, but I think that's just so that you can get the full range of motion there. The other thing you could do is bend it at the elbow, and then you could also move it like that, whatever you prefer. Does also have a bicep swivel, nothing in the wrist. That's one solid piece. Waist can move from side to side. Hips out to the side, to the front. Back is hindered by this butt skirt, and as you see, these are meant to come off. This did not break. It just pegs in there. I just don't think I had it pegged in all the way. They are pretty snug. But that also gives you a thigh swivel. You have over 90-degree bend in the knee, and you do have an ankle tilt as well, which is nice. So if you want to give him a wide, dynamic pose, you can. The ankles will tilt. But yeah, he looks great. Like I said, love the color scheme. Absolutely love the amount of articulation. Love all the guns. Now, he does come with these two guns. They're a little loose in his hands, but I think they're really meant to be given to other figures. They're identical, as far as I can tell. All molded in one solid color black, but they look good. I like them quite a bit. Now he's got some pegs here on the side. If you wanted to go ahead and peg that into the side of his arm, you could certainly do that as well. He's kind of got these black wrist guns molded in already. He's got guns molded into the shoulders. I guess if you really wanted, you could put them in here if you just want storage. He's got two pegs on his back. You could even store him here if you wanted to. It kind of looks alright. And then, of course, like I showed you, he has the one in each forearm. He's got two in his chest. That's really for transformations later on, but if you absolutely wanted to put this in there, you certainly could. Nothing's stopping you. But overall, I think he looks great. We'll check out his vehicle transformation first. So for pretty much all his transformations, the first step is going to be to separate this. And literally you just pull, kind of grab onto the silver part and just pull this part forward. It doesn't peg in super tight or anything. It just kind of slides in very simply. I mean, it does have a peg. There's a big peg right here and there's a peg hole right there. But it's not too difficult to unpeg him. You just kind of slide it out. So you're going to put the pants off to the side for a moment. Unpeg the arms completely. The majority of his transformation consists of rotating the head 180 degrees and then rotating this whole section down into the chest, making sure that the head is clear like that. Then you're going to take those arms, straighten them out, and peg them into those chest holes. Straighten this all out. Now you'll notice that there is a joint here on the side. That'll come into play later. For now, that is one part. Then you take this little part over here, just kind of straighten it out, and this whole section will just flip around the waist. And then you can see that there are two tabs there and there, which will peg in here and here. So you just kind of bring this down. And there you go. You take those two guns from earlier, and you peg those into these shin holes. And that's pretty much it. It's a very, very basic transformation, but it makes sense when these are just supposed to be like two little drones that roll around the city mode of Fortress Maximus for protection. I think it kind of makes sense. You can have them as two separate ones if you want. You can see there's a tab here. There is a tab slot in the back there, so you can just go ahead and peg those together if you want one long mobile vehicle there. Rolls fairly well. You can see there's wheels even in the bottom of the tread. That's just for looks on the outside. So I think that's cool. I do kind of like the look of them as two separate ones. That's just me personally, but like I said, it's super easy if you want to connect them together. So like I said, super basic transformation, but I think they look good, and the transformation for vehicle mode is not really the main gem of this guy. Let's move into the weaponizer part of it. So for the purposes of this, I'm going to be using Sideswipe. There's a couple different configurations you can do, and really you can do whatever you want. The directions give two, but whatever you can come up with, you can do as long as you can peg it in. So I'm going to go ahead and unpeg these. And really, if you wanted, you could just have a character hold one of these. You'd have to kind of straighten his arm out. But he could hold one of these just as a big gun if you wanted. Or you could have him peg it into the side of his arm. Kind of give him like a Starscream look. Kind of neat. So that's literally anything you can take apart and peg in somewhere you can do. But the first one that they show, this one's kind of ridiculous in my opinion, but straighten this all the way out until it's pants again. Then you're going to pop this little peg out down here. You're going to bend this at what were his knees and peg in these giant guns. Then what they want you to do is peg this onto his back. Now it can be done if you don't push the peg back in, but it's a little goofy and it's super top heavy. So you really have to make sure you peg it in all the way to even give it a chance. But it can be done. Now they also want you to peg these in on top of here. So this would be like the super duper blaster mode. And you can do it, but I feel like this maybe would work better for Voyagers or someone that have a little bit more weight to them, just because this really is top heavy and he's about ready to fall over. So I'm going to unpeg this here, and I'm going to do what I think is the better configuration. Pop this out. We're going to go ahead and we are going to pop those off like we saw earlier. And then we're going to take this, or actually I think we leave these up, and you just peg these straight into the bottom of these. That way you're basically getting the same effect. You just have a lot less weight. Oh, you know what? I did this backwards. Haha. There we go. And then you can peg this into the back, and it just works a lot better because you don't have all that weight. And then you take the legs and you fold the thighs inside, and then these act as kind of shoes, which you put on here, which is really just a way to store those pieces, but I think it looks kind of neat. Now at this point you can take this and you can you kind of have to lift the head up a little bit, but they have you peg this into the shoulder here just as kind of armor, which I swear you can do. Why is this not pegging in? What are you doing to me here? There you go. So you can just have it kind of peg in like that if you want, which I think kind of looks goofy and kind of hinders the articulation in the arm. What you can also do is take this, move it up. Actually, you have to put it all the way back up. And then you fold these two sections in like was shown earlier. You can pop out this peg, and then this can kind of act as a shield. Which I kind of like that. I kind of like that piece as a shield, because if he's coming in with guns blazing and people are going to be firing at him, he would have a shield then. You can take these off if you want, if you'd rather have him just hold this, or you could peg one in to his shoulder. Literally, whatever you can dream up, you can do it. So all of these different play patterns are here. The weaponizers just come apart, and however you can dream of connecting these, as long as there's an open port, you can do it. So the directions give 2 suggestions, but by no means are you limited to those 2 suggestions. I like COG a lot. I think this weaponizer thing is a really neat idea. I love all the playability that comes with this, and I love the fact that it has a connection to Fortress Maximus, so it's kind of tying back in to the Titan's Return line. I kind of like the idea of having the Prime Wars trilogy and the War for Cybertron trilogy kind of coexisting. Obviously, some figures are going to replace previous releases because you have an Optimus and a Megatron in just about every line. But if you kind of keep them all together, you can have Combiner Wars, so you have Gestalt teams, you have Headmasters, you have Target Masters, you have Power Masters, you have Pretenders, you have Weaponizers, Battleizers, or Battle Masters rather, Micromasters. It's crazy. It's just like so many gimmicks to put all together, and I think it's really fun. So that's my own personal kind of headcanon to put those two together. But I think this guy's awesome. Love the color scheme, love all the posability, love all the different combinations you can make. I would say the weakest part is probably the vehicle mode, but at the same time, that's not why you're buying this guy. And I think, given the fact that he's kind of just a little, like, almost drone-like city protector for Fortress Maximus, it makes sense that his little vehicle modes would be simple, and they're kind of 2 tiny little guys to cover more ground. So I think for what he is, it makes sense, and I think the vehicle mode is the least important part of this toy. He looks great. Great paint, great articulation. His gimmick is super fun. I did want to show off real quick that, of course, he can hold any Battleizers or Micromasters or anything like that. So that's, of course, completely possible. His hands are the same as anybody else. I didn't show that earlier, and I wanted to at least make sure to mention that. So definitely grab this guy. Really, every toy so far in the Siege line has been great, but all the Deluxes, definitely fantastic. And then this guy will work with all of them, with all the combinations and everything. So if you love Transformers, if you're digging on this line, definitely pick COG up. He's wonderful. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, thank you so much for watching.